In this lesson, we'll be looking at formulas and function. I'll be taking them one after the other. So do not, there's tendency of this video being in 3 parts or 2 parts in order to make it very short. Okay, so let's go right there. Now, what are formulas and functions? So first of all, what is formula? Now, in Excel, a formula is an expression that operates on values in a range of cells or a cell. And so far, we've done some basic things like concatenation. We've done basic things like, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all of that, which are operators. Now we're going in an advanced, way. Now, some of the formulas we'll be looking at that are, general in a way in Excel, because there are a lot of formulas, there are a lot of functions, but we are streamlining it to some of these important ones that are often used in data analysis. All right, that are often used in analyzing data and in major day-to-day Excel use, even in advanced levels. All right, so these are the areas this lesson will be focusing on. So number one is sum, number two max, three minimum, four average, max means maximum, sum is summation, then average, normal average, average of something, of a cost, price, count is counting the number of information in a particular cell and all that. Okay, we have the count A, we have upper, we have lower, we have proper, we have replace and substitute, we have round up and down, we have ceiling and floor. Okay, so we'll be examining every one of these things in this lesson. Okay, so we have a set of data, which is this. We'll be zooming that to us. I'll be zooming that. So we have this set of data. So first of all, we have this set of data. We have numbers, 140,556. We have 175,890. We have 600,000, 670,670. We have 657,980. So these are some of data. Now, remember, in science, there's what we call experiment. And an experiment we have the sample and we have the population. So this is a sample out of the population. And so for this training, I am bringing little things, and as we advance, we get into large data where every one of these things come into play. Okay, so is this data set we want to solve for the sum? If you remember, in operators, one of the things we did was addition. All right, we added this and this and this and this to get that. Okay, but right in this training, we won't be adding this and adding that. We will just go straight into what we want. One of the ways you do this is by using the equal to sign. All right, and then using the formula called sum. Okay, let me put that. So equal to sign, then using the called sum, the formula called sum. All right, and then it says number one, comma, number two, number three, and all of that. So number one, I can go with comma, number two, comma, number three, comma, number four, and you close your bracket. Okay, and then enter. All right, so this is the total sum of this entire data set. Okay, now still a bit tedious because of the comma of 18. All right, okay, we can bypass that. We can bypass the commas and all of that by doing this. Okay, so sum, then inside the brackets you put your data. We can just drag like this and then click on enter. All right, we are moving to the next called max and minimum. So now the max and minimum. Now let's say we have a set of data and we want to find the maximum number in this set of data. The maximum number in this set of data. So the maximum number in this entire data set, let's look for that. So what is the maximum number? Now, okay, I solving for average, just say equal to average, and then you can get the average of this number. Just select this number as well and then click on enter. So the average is 411,277. That is 1,645,107 divided by 4. All right, and then you get this. Okay, so that is average. And if you want to do that from there as well, you come to this auto sum. Instead of clicking on auto sum, you come to this drop down and then you click on average and to open the store for you. But that is not the average you are trying to calculate. Okay, so you take that away. You come to this place and you come to auto sum, click on average. You see automatically it's selecting the range, but there's certain information there that we don't want you to select. So you do your selection yourself on this wise, because we've actually calculated something there. But if it was just the data, it will pick it automatically and then you click on enter. Do you see that? So if it's just the data, so let's try that. Let's move this data set somewhere else, somewhere here. Okay, there's already data there. Okay, there's data there. I will check for that. Okay. So let's say we want to work with this, and then you come to let me add a, okay, so average, come to this place, average, and it automatically selects the data there and calculates the results. So this is the result. All right, and you can see it's the same thing. All right, so that is how you solve for that. Okay, and auto sum as well does that. Select it and you have your information as the same thing. Okay, okay, okay. So now we are back to where we should be. Okay, so now let's look at the maximum and minimum. So what is the maximum number and what is the minimum number in this set of data? To get that, to say equal to maximum of that. So maximum. So just select this range of data to find the max. So select this range of data and enter. So the maximum number there is 3,867. All right, let's look at around 367, 352, 3424, 3424, 2919, 3799, and all the rest. Okay, so we could also format that for this minimum number. All right, under the minimum number, we click on equal to minimum. Okay, minimum, and the same thing. Okay, just highlight that and enter 96. It is very obvious. The minimum number here is 96. So this is how you find the maximum and minimum number out of a set of data. Okay, so if you say how do you find that using the long method, you come to this, max, and then it selects that. You can see it's selecting just that information that it could see because it is on that particular column. All right, or if you want to increase the width, you see, you just do your range, select your range, and then click on enter. So that is that on max and minimum. So quickly, we've done on average before. Okay, we did on average, but let's quickly look at something in this set of data. Let's look for the range in this particular set of data. In the average, I believe you could be able to do that, equal to, or you come to the top here and then you click on that, then you click on average, and then select the data automatically like we did and enter. That's giving us this, the average. I could format that by using a color. So that is average. Okay, and then let's look at count. Let's say we want to count this entire data. All right, let's count this entire data. So let me take that off. Equal to, you could use equal to count. All right, and then we use the count function, and then it's asking for value 1, value 2, value 3, and all of that. So it's still the comma, and then you just select the particular range. So this is the range of the data, and then enter. So it's counting the numbers, and it counted 10. Let's count these small numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But why is it counting 10? There are 12 data there, but it's counting 10. Now, the count function works only for numbers. Okay, the count formula or function works only for numbers. It can only pick, test. It only picks numbers. Like Lagos and John are test. Okay, so it doesn't pick Lagos, it doesn't pick John. All right, so that is the reason it returned 10. Now, what about the count a function? So now another way you could easily do the count function, you could also, come back to, instead of using this, you could also go back to the auto sum drop down, and then bring in count numbers. Okay, and must double tap it. So count numbers, and it's selecting a different information. So you train it on what it should count. All right, train it on what it should count, so that I can count the relevant information that you need. Okay, so enter, still returning 10. So you could see it. All right, now if you see on this drop down, you could see more functions. All right, like address, areas, columns, and a lot of other informations. All right, VLOOKUPs and all that. But this is not what we are, want to stick with the purpose of this lesson. Okay, so the equal to count a equal to count a. So you could see the function there, open bracket, select the range. All right, enter. You could see it return 12. All right, why did it return 12? It's simple, because the count a function or the count a formula ensures that it carries along not just numbers but text as well. All right, now let's include a blank space here. Let's delete this information. Delete. You could see the count automatically went to 9, and then count a becomes 11. Now let's use the equal to count blank. All right, count blank. Okay, so let's select this set of data again, and then click on enter. You see it returned 1. Why? Because there's only one blank space here. Okay, there's only one blank space here. So the next thing is the lower and upper. Okay, lower and upper. Now this is David, and we want David to become lower. Okay, so we use the equal to lower. Okay, let's go to upper first. Upper, and then we pick says. All right, and we say enter. You could see it returned says. All right, it returned says. Now if you notice, the upper does not take a range. All right, it only selects individual information. Okay, but with autofill, we could address all of that immediately by saying equal to. Okay, equal to, we say upper open bracket, and then we select our text and we say enter. We could easily do a drop feed, and then you could see sales, marketing, gaming, and all of that. So the same principle works with the lower, equal to lower, and then you just pick your set of your data and then enter. You see it has turned it to David. Now the importance of upper and lower: imagine you have a set of data and there is wrong formatting of the data set in terms of names of employees. One of the things you do is use the lower and upper function or formula to bring the name to normal in order for you to make a proper presentation of your information. Okay, So you do that. Now proper equal to proper. All right, let's look at the name David. All right, small letter and then proper. You could see it has returned the small d David to a proper sentence, all right, of David in writing. You could see it, all right. So this is how you use proper, upper, and uh, lower to, format your data to be presentable. So and then the last but not the least is replace and substitute. Replace and substitute. So we have this set of data: David, Frank, Ebube. All right, David, Frank, Ebube. We want to replace certain information here. So we go use the word replace.